Hey you, welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
I'm wife.
And together we're reading the Bible.
Starting with Genesis and eventually ending with Revelations, we're working through every book and offering our atheist 2 cents.
Or shekels.
Yeah, those. We're asking questions and pointing out all the nonsense.
We aren't academics or scholars.
Nope. In fact, when it comes to religion, we really don't know anything at all.
What we've learned so far is that God's a dick.
Oh, he really is, isn't he? If you're interested in how we reached this startling conclusion, maybe start from episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in anywhere. It's all good.
Yep.
Hey wife, we just got a new sponsor. It's Anchor. They must think we're doing something right because they picked us back up.
That's amazing. Want to hear something even more amazing?
Yeah?
I actually know what they are.
You are full of shit. I'm calling your bluff. Tell me about Anchor.
Okay, so Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place.
I'm actually surprised you knew that, but did you also know that Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer?
Yes, because I see you do that on your phone all the time and it looks pretty simple.
It really is, and when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
But I use CastBox.
Yeah, darling, I know you like CastBox. It gets distributed there too, and lots of other platforms as well.
And how much are we paying for this awesome service?
Absolutely nothing.
Coolio, so then we should tell people to download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started?
Yep, do it now.
Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I think the highlight was suffer bread and suffer sticks.
That did happen yesterday. You are right. And it was about what those things have to do with, which is the 3 appointed feasts that we're supposed to remember to celebrate.
Right.
And
some of them we celebrate with suffer bread, the unleavened bread.
Yeah.
And then while we were at it, we were just renaming the cross the suffer sticks.
Yeah. That's
because why not?
That's working ahead.
It's working ahead, but yeah. It's a good name. I like it. Suffer sticks.
And then we started in on the administration of justice. But we didn't get very far.
That fairness that happens in the Bronze Age.
Don't be bribing your judges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go find out how fair they are, huh?
In Deuteronomy chapter 17.
Alrighty.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 17.
Okay.
And we're continuing on with the judges not being bribed and shit like that.
Right.
Appointment of justice.
Yeah.
Never sacrifice sick or defective cattle, sheep, or goats to the Lord your God, for he is such an asshole that he detests such gifts. Honestly, like, somebody comes over and they bring you some wine, and then, like, as you're looking at the bottle, you realize that it's not your favorite brand, or that, like, I don't know.
You're like, fuck you.
Maybe the bottle is cracked or something.
You deserve punishment for that.
I hate you. How could you give me such a detestable gift? I detest it, and
right?
I detest you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't be that way.
I know. Yeah. But he's a god, so he has the right to feel and do whatever he wants, I guess.
I guess. I would be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, and then just, not eat it or drink it.
Right. I mean, have you received gifts that you detest before?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you haven't lived, right?
True.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a fuss about it and said, don't give me detestable gifts?
No, but I do know people that do.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
That individual is very rude about it. That individual is like, don't get me gifts I don't ask for, that I don't like, because I detest them.
It's very interesting when I see that happen. Yeah.
That is a thing I have witnessed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. When you begin living in the towns the Lord your God has given you, a man or woman among you, might do evil in the sight of the Lord your God. And violate the covenant.
That's what they do. They just do evil.
People might be evil. You don't know.
Look at that person being evil.
Let me give you an example.
Ooh,
ready?
We get examples.
Yeah. For instance, They might serve other gods, or worship the sun, the moon, or any of the stars.
Well, then obviously you got to stone him to death. He already covered that.
The forces of heaven, which
I
have strictly forbidden,
Yeah. But you got to kill him. Make sure you kill him.
When you hear about it, investigate the matter thoroughly. It's really funny that he's like, don't be fucking doing these things where you worship the sun, moon, stars, or bodily heavenly things, bodies in the heavens, things in the heavens. What am I trying to say? Shut up. What am I trying to say?
The heavenly
bodies. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. And yet, like, one of the second most popular Christian holiday is Easter, which is literally based. Like, if you look up, when is Easter? It is the first full moon, the first Sunday after the full moon, after the spring equinox.
So pagan.
Yeah.
Pagan and pagan.
Totally pagan.
Yeah.
Totally pagan.
Right.
It's after the spring equinox and after a full moon. And then it's on a Sunday.
Right.
Like, you have to go through these hoops of the heavenly bodies.
Yeah, you got to get your pagan on.
If it is true that this detestable thing, after investigating thoroughly. Yeah, thoroughly.
I wonder what that entails. Like, what is investigating thoroughly when someone's worshiping another god? What does that mean? Is it like, on Monty Python and the Holy Grail where they weigh the witch with the chicken?
Or is it like they stalk them on Facebook?
Well, they didn't have Facebook, but yeah, I get your drift.
Okay, but I don't have chickens or ponds to drown people. So,
Right.
needs must.
Yeah.
You go with what you got.
Okay, all right.
If it is true, after thorough investigation, that this detestable thing has been done in Israel.
Okay, only in Israel. We'll see there.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
At least good, Yeah, we're safe. We're not in Israel.
Then the man or woman who has committed such an evil act must be taken to the gates of town and stoned to death. They
didn't say that in the last chapter. They just said stone to death, like right there and then burn the town down.
Yeah, but this time that was for telling the future.
Oh, okay, so they deserve immediate death.
Immediate death, no questions asked. But if you are pretty sure that they're like, the sun, I like the sun and the moon and the spring. What is that song?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But never put a person to death on the testimony of only one witness. Oh, that's good.
That's nice, I guess.
That's that thorough investigation stuff.
Yeah. But if there's two, right out, you're done.
There must always be 2 or 3 witnesses. 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
The witnesses must throw the first stones. Jesus Christ. And then all the people may join in. Way.
Well, at least you don't make you do it.
In this way, you will purge the evil from among you.
Good job, you Israelites. Way to murder the evil out of your community.
Yeah. Murder gets rid of evil. Active, collective murder gets rid of evil.
Oh, my God.
But there's more.
Yeah,
ready?
Okay,
Hey, so suppose a case arises in a local court that is too hard for you to decide.
Yeah.
Suppose
that happens.
For instance.
Whether
someone is guilty of murder or only of manslaughter or a difficult lawsuit or a case involving different kinds of assault,
Sure, as it goes.
Happen. Like, was this stoning, like, because you were evil or they just didn't like your face?
Right, yeah.
Take such legal cases to the place the Lord your God will choose and present them to the Levitical priests or the judge on duty at that time. And
of course, they'll know best.
I'm sure they're going to be totally fair because they are not to be bribed.
Right, yeah.
Now, they didn't say, judges, don't be bribed. They said, people, don't be bribing the judges.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you got to leave a window there.
Yeah.
Because the judges need those bribes. So.
Yeah. They will hear the case and declare the verdict. And that's the way that goes.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. You must carry out the verdict they announce and the sentence they prescribe at the place the Lord chooses. Well, is it the Lord choosing it? Or is it the judges choosing it?
I was going to say. Well, but remember, it said at one point that the judges were basically God's word.
Yeah.
So, essentially...
Samesies.
Same, yeah.
Right. Hey, you must do exactly what they say. Okay?
Okay.
After they have interpreted the law and declared their verdict, the sentence they impose must be fully executed. Do not modify it in any way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Don't modify it.
Don't make exceptions. Don't have a kind heart. Always have a hard heart.
Yeah.
And a closed fist.
Right.
And a heavy stone.
Make sure you always execute it the way they want you to execute them.
Yeah. Let executions be executed in executive fashion.
You were trying to be clever.
I was. It fell flat. Much like unleavened bread. But call back. Anyone arrogant enough to... Arrogant? You're talking to me about arrogance? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, go off. Anyone arrogant enough to reject the verdict of the judge or of the priest who represents the Lord your God must die. Fucking die. You gotta fucking die. You go up against the judge, you die.
I'm betting that the person that would reject the order most of the time would be the person that's going to die anyway.
And say, this is bullshit. Yeah. No big loss.
What's the problem?
So I can just go along with it and die, or fight it, maybe sneak away, still die, but live another day.
Right, possibly.
Right. In this way, you will purge the evil from Israel. You know, the evil that isn't supposed to be there because we already killed them all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then everyone else will hear about it and be afraid to act so arrogantly. They'll be afraid, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would be afraid of acting arrogantly. I think that they would be afraid of fascism.
Right.
Call me crazy.
Right.
Okay, instructions concerning a king.
Okay.
We got kings now.
I guess.
We had giants. I didn't know we got kings.
I didn't hear them bring up kings until now.
Kings. You are about to enter the land the Lord your God is giving you. When you take it over and settle there, you may think, hey, we should select a king to rule over us like the other nations around us.
Yeah.
I always elect kings all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, there are nations around us that have kings. Let's get a king.
Yeah.
That's what's missing from our lives.
Right.
It's not the shitty bread. It's not the outhouses. It's a king.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. If this happens, hey, so be sure to select as king the man the Lord your God chooses.
Of course.
Yeah. So, which tells me you're not actually electing a king. You are going along with
whatever the priest wants you to put up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, the priests get to pick the king.
Right.
And then you better go along.
Yeah. Or you'll get stoned.
Right.
And it won't be because you ugly.
Right.
You must appoint a fellow Israelite. He may not be a foreigner. Okay, here we go. The king must not build up a large stable of horses for himself or send his people to Egypt to buy horses. Okay.
What's this hang up on horses?
I don't know. For the Lord has told you, you must never return to Egypt. Okay.
Did he say that? Okay.
I don't recall that, but I mean, that tracks. I guess. The king must not take many wives for himself because they will turn his heart away from the Lord. What constitutes many?
I don't know.
Like more than one, more than three, more than five?
I mean, I would say two is just a couple. So, like, I think you can
get away with three many? And then
three could be many.
Three could be many if they're like
I'd say you're pushing your luck with three.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do three, they better be like really decent. Decent wives. Okay. Yeah. So maybe two, maybe three, definitely not four. Four is right out.
Yeah.
And he must not accumulate large amounts of wealth in silver and gold for himself.
I doubt. I mean,
I don't think
that's the way it's going to go. But
I don't either. It's a good idea.
Sure, it's a great idea.
I like the idea, but Nancy Pelosi thinks that people in the know should be allowed to trade stocks. So you know, king's gonna king. You know.
Yep.
Whatevs.
Yep.
When he sits on the throne as king, he must copy for himself this body of instruction on a scroll in the presence of the Levitical priest. He's got to sign a contract.
I see.
He's got to write the contract, and then he's got to sign it.
Yeah.
He must always keep that copy with him and read it daily as long as he lives. Wouldn't it be cool if presidents of America actually had to write the Constitution and read it every day?
Yeah, but how could you guarantee they read it and didn't just move their head back and forth?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, just the idea, right? Like, remember that time when we had a president who had never even heard of the Constitution and didn't know anything in it?
Right.
If he had actually sat down even and had a child break it down for him, that would have been very cool. That way, he will learn to fear the Lord his God, because he has to learn to, I guess. He didn't already know it.
Right. You would think you'd pick somebody that was already fearful of this God.
If I was these people, that's what I would do.
That's what I would pick, right? Yeah.
By obeying all the terms of these instructions and decrees. This regular reading will prevent him from becoming proud. I don't think it will.
No.
And acting as if he is above his fellow citizens. I don't think it's going to stop that. That's not the way king
things work.
Anybody who wants to be king is already...
Yeah, you'll read it maybe because you have to, but that's the only reason you'd be reading it. And then you'd be like, okay, now next. Okay,
No, what he's reading it for is to look for the loopholes.
Right.
Well, it doesn't say I can't. It doesn't say I should.
Right, yeah.
It's not specifically in the Constitution.
Right.
I mean, again, these are people who don't follow the spirit of the law. They follow the letter of the law and look for fucking loopholes.
Right.
So you're telling me that this king reads this paper every day and ain't looking for loopholes? I'm calling you stupid.
Right.
Or foolish at the very most.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Right.
You're naive.
Yeah.
And foolish and silly.
Those things.
Yeah. It will also prevent him from turning away from those commands in the smallest way. Or, I'm sorry, from these commands in the smallest way. It's not, though. It's not. This is arrogant. And it will ensure that he and his descendants will reign for many generations in Israel. False. False.
So once they pick a king, it's like the same as the priest. You're just always in as long as you're a descendant, right?
In like sin.
And then they just pick that one person, like, and from then on, it's going to be good people who rule fairly, and
you'll never have
God's word, right?
You'll never have to stone anybody. As a matter of fact, you'll be wondering, what are these big old round things on the ground? There's so many of them because we've never had to use them.
This will be damn near a new Eden.
I know, right? It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the end.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was the end of my pretending to be in a new Eden too. So
I got carried away.
I know, it was such a great place they were imagining, right?
I know, they were like they were in the garden, yo.
All right. Well,
anyway, sarcasm
we're done. Yeah, sarcasm. Sometimes we get a little bit lost in our sarcasm, I think.
We do.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, let's try to not have sarcasm tomorrow in Deuteronomy chapter 18.
I can already tell you that's going to be a fail. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there. So it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap. Oh. But, we can definitely use any amount. So, like, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Husband, it's the end.
It is indeed, wife.
Tell the people where they can contact us.
Well, they can get a hold of us via our email, which is sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. We have Twitter at sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh, why do you know? Why do you keep doing that? Ugh. All right, we have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a Pinterest page. But if you really want to get our attention, Twitter's where it's at.
Twitter is where you're at.
Yeah.
And they should also review, like, and subscribe, yeah?
Definitely. Apple Podcasts reviews help us out tremendously. And we also can use your support on Patreon, which is a great place to support us as well. That would be at patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse.
Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.